Hello, listeners, and welcome to the Geeks by Gaslight Podcast, the show you need to listen to for your monthly insight into the many wide worlds of geek culture. I'm your host, Carroll, and I am still locked on Twitter. So, joining us today for this quarantined episode are two wonderful guests. First, the former host of this very fine show, Mr. Ronny Diaz. How you doing?
I'm doing good. This time, I've been playing Fate Grand Order, not because it's, like, my one obsession, but also because my consoles haven't been set up and I'm slowly going insane.
How's quarantine been treating you, Ronny?
It's like starting to get to me, you know, because not a lot of people know this that don't, like, know me IRL, is that I'm a shut-in. I don't really go outside much. So the first few weeks have, like, been alright, but now I'm like, I want to go outside, you know?
Rough stuff. Everyone's feeling the hurt. Also joining us, as returning as a very special guest, Mr. Luke Rex. Shred, say hello.
It is I, Video Game Donkey.
Oh, maybe.
Quad laser!
God.
Been playing this really cool game called Final Fantasy VII. You all should play it.
Oh, I guess that would have been a thing to talk about. Because that's like, it's that and Animal Crossing that are like keeping the world sustained right now.
Yeah.
How's the isolation been, Shred?
You know.
Do we though? Do we know?
Just, not keeping track of the house, not the cleaning. I should probably do that, because really, I advise anyone out there to just take this opportunity to, like, learn something, learn a new hobby, watch movies, do whatever to pass the time, because y'all literally have nowhere else to go.
Seize the means of production from home, comrades.
Man, I'm gonna gain so much weight by the end of this. It's gonna be awesome. I mean, it's not gonna be awesome, but it'll be funny. It'll definitely be funny.
It's impossible for me to, like, gain or lose anything at this point. I'm just, like, stuck in this void of just this body.
I mean, that could be a positive. But okay. Moving on from all that. Obviously, the coronavirus situation, as we discussed last month, is very, very much still going on, and thus we don't have a ton of regular news to give you because a lot of things have been put on hold, including, as we speculated about last episode, Comic-Con has been officially canceled, so you won't be seeing any of our special coverage this year.
Yeah, so it's been a pretty slow news month.
Yeah. Obviously, Geeks by Gaslight is based out of San Diego, so we are we often are sort of in the thick of things when Comic-Con comes around. It just kind of shows up and takes over our whole city, and it's certainly a wild time. But you know, with kind of all of that said, what do you think? What do you think about Comic-Con not being held this year?
Oh my god, that fucking sucks! Like,
yeah, it's not great.
Right,
I mean, it sucks. It sucks, of course, but of course it was the right thing to do.
Totally.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, Shred is probably one of the least affected by this because he's not, you know, in the city where it happens.
Well, like, I live over in the Kansas City area where they have, like, their own, like, Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah.
Which I've been to, like, almost every year. And obviously they postponed it at some point in the future. So it sucks that I can't make it, but I don't think I was planning on going this year, actually, anyway. But yeah, it still, like, really sucks that, like, we're at this point where we're just canceling all these big, important annual events.
Yeah, I mean, what can you really do about it, right?
Nothing. Like, it was the smartest move, and it's unfortunate. Like, summer's going to be boring, but you know what? I'd rather a boring summer than, like, thousands of people infected.
Yeah.
Because we were like, we gamer.
Oh, we'd be a bit gamer. But I mean, I've been hearing some things about like virtual panels, like a virtual Hall H type deal. Which would be cool because more people would be able to fucking get in.
That's true. Hey, anything to stop LA from getting it.
Oh god, I don't think it'd go to LA. If I'm honest with you, I think it'd probably go to Vegas if anything. Because Vegas can, because LA's like grid system is already fucked, right? But if there's any place that can handle a massive like international influx of people, it's Vegas. Like that's just kind of their constant state of affairs.
I think every company should just have like their own Nintendo Direct.
Maybe. And they should all call them our like blanks Nintendo Direct.
The Happy Madison Direct.
No, the Happy Madison Nintendo Direct. They just keep Nintendo.
The Happy Madison Nintendo Direct. Will they finally bring back Happy Gilmore or make a Happy Gilmore 2?
Don't do either of those things.
Mario starring
Gilmore was a good movie.
It's good, but I don't want another one.
But they made Pixels, so you know they make good
Never mind,
movies.
we're not getting a Happy Gilmore 2.
Oh god.
I've decided it. That was your direct.
Yeah, it's just the Happy Gilmore or Happy Madison Direct would just be Adam Sandler taking a shit and then like thinking about it for 2 seconds, being like, "Nah, not gonna make 2." End of direct.
Uncut Gems 2 by Happy Madison.
Whoa!
This is how they win.
Oh shit! I need to fucking watch that.
It's really good.
So, you know, I guess there's not all that much to say other than that Comic-Con will be missed this year. It's the first time in its 50-plus year history that it hasn't gone ahead, which is a real shame. But of course, the health and safety of all of everyone who would have attended and the organizers and such always comes first. And mass gatherings of people are a big no-no right now. So please stay home and don't go out as much as you can. And I'm glad that Comic-Con aren't fucking idiots by letting that go ahead.
Oh yeah, especially with you've seen San Diego Comic-Con when it happened.
Yes.
So many fucking people, and not to mention
God.
Yeah. Also, San Diego has like a homeless population issue.
Yeah, we have a huge we have a huge homeless problem here.
Yeah, and so they can't avoid the crowds in downtown, and that's where a majority of them are.
Right.
So it's the best move for literally everyone.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so besides that, some other adjustments. Sort of speaking of Comic-Con, one of the most famous attractions a lot of years at Comic-Con has been Marvel Studios, and this year, obviously, with Black Widow was scheduled to come out in 2 days, which isn't happening, of course,
Was
because
it really supposed to come out
May 1st.
What?
Yeah,
Damn, I really had no idea.
Yeah, we should have been in line for fucking Black Widow tomorrow. It sucks. Tomorrow is the time of recording, of course.
No, it's always coming out tomorrow every day.
Yeah, exactly. It's every day, bro, with that Black Widow flow.
Release a new version of Black Widow every day.
Oh, please, maybe.
It'll be getting patch notes.
Maybe. Update. It's just fucking digital updates. Obviously the movie has been delayed, but I believe that they said that the current plan is to just, because, Marvel likes to plant flags in terms of their dates. So they have a lot of they have a lot of upcoming. So I think they just scooted everything back a date. The Eternals, which was coming out in on November 6th, I think that has been designated as Black Widow's new release date. The Eternals, then got probably moved up to Shang-Chi's release date, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of this is sort of still up for debate in terms of, what will be coming out when. Obviously, there's many, many movies that they have slated that they have not announced yet. I mean, we can sort of presume that there will be, some Ant-Man sequels and some...
unfortunately.
What? Fuck off. Ant-Man rules.
Ant-Man was good.
First Ant-Man was great. The second one was just kind of okay, but...
it was pretty epic.
I can agree with that.
I did not like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And so, Captain Marvel 2, I'm sure those are in there, but the movies that they have announced, that they announced before this, were, of course, Black Widow, Eternals, Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, the Untitled Spider-Man 3, Thor Love and Thunder, and Black Panther 2. As well as Blade, but Blade had not been given a release date. So all of those dates are now up in flux due to the current world sort of climate issues.
Yeah.
So all of that is likely to change. So we probably won't be hearing a ton of the Marvel movies for a while. But I presume to a point that the Disney Plus shows will be going ahead as planned. I mean, there's no way to know. It's all dependent on how much they've filmed. And seeing as we haven't really seen next to anything in terms of a trailer, we saw one little, hot sequence thing where it was just like little clips from the Disney Plus shows. So it seems like they've definitely started filming. I don't know how much they filmed because they haven't let on all that much. So from there we shall see. But that's sort of the state of things with the with Marvel Studios. Just sort of like, if you're more interested in that, just sort of like keep your ear to the ground because just about as much as we do.
We're really like getting into the meat of things with all these like postponed and digital releases coming out.
Yeah.
Because this whole thing with like AMC Universal now, it's like really getting worse. And for those that don't know, like AMC is like pretty much cutting ties with Universal Studios because of the success of Trolls World Tour.
That's not gonna last.
No, there's no way. Like, there's no way they're gonna be missing out on like the Fast and Furious saga and like Jurassic World. Those make like $1 billion each practically.
Yeah.
And so we're definitely just going to like a different like part of film. Like I believe cinema is just another art form that like evolves through the decades, and this just a different sign of it.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about that last month, but it's so much more in depth now than I realized because like the reason I heard about it is I said this last episode was that because Universal pulled Trolls World Tour at the last minute, they were like basically the theater chains, the head of like the theater chain union or whatever, put out like a public threat in the fucking paper or whatever, where he was just like, "We will not forget this." It was like so fucking.
Yeah, that was so ominous.
That's a
I was like
telltale
so
notification.
That wasn't to me, but I was sweating, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, "Oh god, am I in trouble?"
Well, it's fucking wild. But moving on from that, apparently there was a large leak of plot details and such from the upcoming Last of Us 2. The first Last of Us obviously being a very large critical commercial success.
Yeah.
I didn't get to play it, but I saw some people playing it at. They had like a demo at Comic-Con, didn't they? Last year.
Comic-Con and E3.
Oh, it was maybe it was E3.
It was E3. They wouldn't have been at Comic-Con.
No, but it feels like this game's been coming out forever.
Oh no, yeah, it's had a very long development period. I forget when we got the first news of it. I want to say that was 2017.
Maybe I don't fucking know.
When was Uncharted 4? Uncharted 4 was like 2017. So we probably got it. No, I lied. It's 2016. So we probably had news of Last of Us 2 for like 3 years.
Yeah, that's about.
Yeah. Obviously, there's been a ton of details that have come out that have been spoiler related to the contents of the game, so we won't share as much of that as we can. I haven't even read them.
Can we say the G word?
No. Yes, you're fine.
Too many gay people.
That's really a lot of people's issues with it for some reason. There being so much worse shit.
Yeah,
I've been obviously avoiding it, but at this point, after hearing everything that goes in with the Naughty Dog, now I'm just like, how badly do I want this game now?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know anything about that. So, Ronny, why don't you tell us what the whole Naughty Dog situation is?
Okay, so basically, we were mainly joking about the LGBT representation being an issue. People are taking issue with that, but there are people that don't matter. So, the real issue that's going on with it is that there has been terrible crunch over at Naughty Dog in order for them to push this game out, and a lot of people are, of course, having issue with that because nobody wants to know the people that made this game that they enjoy were not enjoying the experience. And it is rumored that the person who actually leaked all the information was one of those disgruntled employees who has been facing the crunch culture. And who is familiar with crunch culture knows that shit is painful to go through. Because you basically end up living in the office.
Right.
I know, like, with Mortal Kombat 11, that was also a big crunch issue. But, like, as we know, Mortal Kombat 11 is like such like a violent game, and so all these like artists had to pour through like dozens of just like source material of like blood and guts and all that in order to make the game as like realistic as possible.
I mean,
and those like employees kind of came out and said that they practically got like PTSD from that whole experience.
I mean, that's just like fucking wild. Don't do that. But I mean, at the same time, you kind of have to do that for a game like that. So I don't really. I mean, it's fucked, and they shouldn't have forced anyone to do it. But I guess you still got to make a game.
It seems like with every big like AAA game release, there's always just like some big crunch issue. People like there's a big outroar, and then it just like kind of gets forgotten.
Yeah. I mean,
so sorry, I'm looking more into this. Apparently, what happened is that so this had to be a disgruntled worker because clips of Last of Us 2 story details were leaked onto YouTube.
Oh shit!
Yeah, like it wasn't just like a post. This was like video of these clips.
Ow!
Oh shit!
Yeah.
It must really suck for like. Obviously, I think Naughty Dog like should be owned, right? But you also gotta feel bad for like the employee that like had all their hard work ruined.
Yeah, I mean, of course, but it's complicated because obviously the circling back to what the most major world issue right now of the coronavirus situation. I'm sure that affects Naughty Dog in the way it has affected a lot of game developers.
Oh, wow.
In that you can't really go into the office for a lot of these cases. Because if one person gets it, it spreads to the whole team. And if it spreads to the whole team, it spreads to their families and yada yada yada. So,
I'd just like to add, if because I haven't been in a video game developing work culture or video game QA testing work culture, but from the stories that I hear with video game QA testing, what's the word? Management, I guess. Because there are a lot of stories from people who work QA about like terrible shit. Like, actually, famous YouTuber Wooly Wools talked about how once there was a whole virus going around, right? With and he was working QA.
Not the coronavirus, of course.
It was not the coronavirus. This was years ago.
Okay, yeah, just for clarification.
Yeah. Shred, I don't know if you've heard the story too. I forget if it was Wooly or Matt. It was one of them because they both worked QA. Was like, yeah, we were working. There was like this terrible flu going around. The office decided to cut like bringing wet naps in for testers to wipe down their stuff, right?
This sounds vaguely familiar. Go on.
Yeah. End of that story, people got sick because of that, and they go, well, no shit. And we have, as I said, haven't worked in that sort of game development culture.
Yeah.
If the studios are also like on that level of fuckery, that's very bad during a situation like this,
Yeah.
I highly doubt that Naughty Dog is like that, right? Crunch culture is one thing, management is another, but you never know in these instances, and I really hope that, because people are obviously still developing the game somehow, they're either doing it from home or have very, very, very good working conditions in the office despite the crunch. And I really hate saying despite the crunch because I would really rather that not be a thing, but I understand deadlines and stuff like that. It's a sensitive, tough issue, But
yeah, I mean, it's like.
Sorry,
go ahead. No, please.
Okay. Yeah. Do we know that the guy responsible for the leaks was like an exhausted coworker, or was it just like some guy trying to be awesome?
I'm
sure they didn't confirm it when they posted it.
Okay. They did not confirm it. It's more rumor going around, but I'm assuming that's one of the only ways you can get footage of this game that isn't released yet.
Yeah, I mean, if there's this notorious developer crunch time during this global crisis, that's the first place you look if you have literal insider footage, not just like a text, like a text or a dump or a script leak or something like that, which could have come from a lot of places. Well, I guess a script leak would have mostly had to come from inside it too, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. That seems rough, and obviously, of course, a lot of people, think just cancel the game, just show up the game. But obviously, this game is Naughty Dog's top priority right now, and like their biggest project that they're working on, and if you just cancel that, then when the end of the financial quarter comes around, you haven't made the money that you were projected to, and if you haven't made the money that you projected to, then obviously some cuts will have to be made, and that can't come at a good time. That's never a good time, but it can't come right now.
Yeah.
But personally, my opinion on something like this is, given the circumstances surrounding COVID-19, it still probably makes more sense to shelve this project for a few months, and let your employees go home. I don't know if they're still working out of out of an office. Obviously, but developer crunch is not a thing that you want to put people through, especially right now when I'm sure a lot of those people have family who are struggling and going through this. So that's just my 2 cents, even though I recognize the financial impact that could have on a company.
Oh no, yeah. Like, I really hope that they delay it again, even though issue. It's the same issue delaying and canceling. It's like if you delay it, investors get fucking like antsy. If you cancel it, then that's a waste. It's this
right.
Crunch culture fucking sucks because of like you have to please someone,
Right. I mean,
so what we're trying to say is people should respect their employees.
no, I don't think so. Maybe
okay,
if you're of a slightly lower social status, suck my dick.
Yeah, take that, plumber man.
Shred, suck my dick.
Okay.
All right, it's time to get Carroll is over part trending.
Oh god, I'm gonna be canceled again.
Let me just
There's got to be some hybrid between my name and cancel.
Are you okay?
Cancel, Carroll. Cancel. That just sounds like the people being cute if I got cancer.
Carroll. Oh no, that doesn't.
No, that's just sounds like Carroll and Rickrolled.
Carceled.
I don't know. But anyway, moving on from that.
Forgot to mute.
Coming at you from the grimy pits of Tartarus, the main man Ronny is here to drop some bombs of knowledge on you in delightful list format. So here he is right now. Ronny's Rambles is coming up right now.
Ah.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Ronny's Rambles, in which I ramble about things. And this week I brought to you 10 things to do in quarantine, because the virus is very real and it's very much keeping us inside. And I know that some people can't handle being in close proximity with the family for all that long and might be considering murder. Don't do that! Please. That's illegal. Don't do it. Instead, do these 10 things I'm about to tell you, because I've come up with a list of 10 things to do during quarantine. Number 10, clean the house. It's low because you probably already do it, but still, if you don't, clean the house. It'll make you feel better. It'll make the place feel more lively. Number 9, do some job hunting. Right now, it's a pretty competitive time, but you don't really have anything else to do, and hey, maybe the extra cash will be worth it, or you're trying to replace a job that you've lost. It's a good time to do it. Don't got much to do. Number 8, read a series of manga. Shonen Jump has a $2 subscription for everything in their backlog. Yeah, it's $2 a month. Do that. Or, pirate it. You do you. There's a shit ton of good manga out there. Read it. You got time. Number 7, try live streaming. You're home, you probably like video games, and you've got a good computer. Try it, why not? You've got nothing to lose. And besides, even if you're not popular, you still might have some fun. Number 6, Discord call some friends. Hey, your friends probably aren't doing anything either. And, Discord exists, or Skype exists, but please use Discord because Discord is better. Just call them, see how they're doing, catch up. It's just what you do. Got nothing to do? Call them. Number 5, learn to cook. Look, ingredients might be a little hard to get right now, but in the event that you do get it, why not learn to cook? It's always a good skill to have, and you're always going to need to eat food. So hey, why not? And a lot of YouTube people are making cooking videos right now because it's something to do. It's very much a good way for you to learn. Number 4, watch too much anime. Hey, anime's out there. You know how to get it. I know you know how to get it. Crunchyroll, pirating, maybe sometimes they're the same thing. In any case, there are a lot of good anime series out there. Go watch them. You got time, and I wouldn't shoot for anything super long, but hey, you can clear out a few short series. Why not? 3, watch too much YouTube. You're already doing it. Just do more of it. I know you're watching YouTube. Who here isn't watching YouTube? You're watching YouTube right now. Just watch more of it. Watch more of us. Watch more of the Geeks by Gaslight Podcast on youtube.com/Geeks by Gaslight. Because we're a good podcast. Please, 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 please. Anyway, number 2, build a Gundam plastic model. Hey man, I got into Gunpla like a year ago now, and it is one of the most fun things to do because it is such a tranquil experience. It's just you, the model kit, and you're just going about it, making sure the details all end up nice. it is very therapeutic. It's awesome. I would highly recommend it to anyone. And kits are usually pretty cheap, maybe around $20, maybe sometimes as low as 10. Right now, buyer beware though, because there is some upselling going on Amazon. Just be careful. And number 1, play some video games. You got a backlog, right? Play them. Why not? Just go through them. You got all these fucking Psychonauts there, System Shock or something. You probably have bought them, don't fucking play them, but play them. You got them now, you got the time. Play some video games. Alright, that's been Ronnie's Rambles for this week. I will see you all next time.
I don't know, what even is a cold open? Oh shit! Hey, welcome back! Welcome back to the show! Nothing weird was happening there. So, moving on to our favorite segment, recommendations. Here are, we got some pretty cool stuff coming up for you, so let's start off with Ronny. Ronny, why don't you hit us with your recommendation for the month?
Alright, so my recommendation is a little game called Wizard of Legend. Started getting into it yesterday because a friend of mine, this story goes a little back on how I heard about this game. Back in college, I was working with a group of people for a project in the game design class. We had made a Discord, yada yada, class ends, we're still friends. He's like, hey, Ronny, you should play this game called Wizard of Legend. It's like someone took ninjas and wizards and then mixed them together and put them in a roguelike. And I'm like, looks crazy, might check it out. Never did, until another friend of mine that I gave me a code because they saw it on my Steam wishlist and they were like, hey, I got Humble Bundle. They got this game. I already own it. You want it? And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. And so they give it to me. And I just recently tried it out yesterday. And it is probably one of the first roguelikes that I actually like playing. Because roguelikes, of course, they're the games where you go in, you die, you lose your progress, start over, but you make gradual progress depending on how far you get sometimes, or achievements that you perform or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, For
Right.
me, that doesn't really vibe with me that well, usually because roguelikes are pretty strict in the way that you have to build your character, or there are these obviously really good upgrades or these not really good upgrades. It's very like that, and then just losing your progression kind of makes me doesn't make me feel like shit. It just damn, I have to go through all of that again, and that was my best run. Shit, I'm too tired for this. I'm just gonna go to bed, sort of thing, right?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the way Wizard of Legend does its roguelike elements, for me, works a bit more because the whole plot is it's oh, you've gone through a museum depicting all this cool wizard stuff. It's a nice way to incorporate introduce you to the world and stuff. Then you get sucked into this medallion that takes you back in time during these wizard trials, and they're like, hey, you're the last contestant, you have to run through this dungeon to become this great wizard, right? And that works out fine. It's a very simple premise. And then, but before you enter the dungeon, you are actually given a chance to buy passive buffs, new attacks, stuff like that. And this game is a hack and slap. So the stuff that you, the magic that you buy, right? It's not just these skills that they do have cooldown, obviously, but it's not very rigid in the way that they work. You can weave them together to do cool combos and stuff like that. And so you buy them in the shop beforehand. You keep those permanently forever, right?
Okay.
And then when you go into the dungeon, anything you find in the dungeon, don't keep, but any currency you make, the main currency being gems. So any currency that you make, you keep, which then you can use to buy new magic and stuff outside of the shop, new cloak, or outside of the dungeon, new cloaks that give you new passive buffs, or new trinkets that give you other passives, that sort of thing. And then you can enter again, and then, try with this new equipment you have.
Okay.
And it feels like there's a lot more steady progression there because while you aren't keeping what you make in the dungeon, right? The items that you buy outside of the shop are the same stuff that you can find actually in the dungeon, just like it's just, randomized shop when you come back. So you're not guaranteed to get it. But when you do, it's yours forever. And you can use it however many fucking times you want. And you'll never lose it.
Okay, so it's like kind of like taking some like the format of like a roguelike, but also incorporating some traditional RPG stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's very fun to play too. Because as I said, it's a hack and slash. You're jumped in, or you jump into the dungeon. Your basic moves are like this wind cutter attack. It's just a basic melee. You get a dash, and then you bring 2 magics of your choice. I personally played around with this AoE lightning attack that hits for multiple hits, and I usually bring some sort of projectile to stagger my opponent. So anytime I'm in combat, I usually go in projectile, AoE, then hit them with some melee, and just kind of repeat that. But then when you start getting more upgrades and shit gets a little more wacky. One run I was doing, and personally my favorite run, and probably my best run that I've done, is I picked up some boots, but they were cursed so that I'd move slow. The thing is that they would let me dash times in a row. So that's like a nice trade-off, right?
Okay.
Then there was this guy in dungeon that was like, hey, I'll let you trade your projectile magic for any of these that I have. They're just going to be shuffled around at random. I'm like, fuck it, I'll do it. And then it doesn't tell you what they do, but I just picked one at random, and what it does is that after I tested it out, it creates floating icicles that spin around me. I was like, wait a second. So then I put 2 and 2 together, and I'm like, wait, this spins around me, and I can dash 4 times in a row, and dashes are also sort of evade. So I'm like, I'm turning myself into a human bullet. So whenever I got into an encounter, I would just start fucking dashing into my opponent. But since I'm also evading at the same time, they can't really hurt me all that much. And whenever I got a chance to breathe, I'd hit him with an AoE attack and just kind of continue that.
Epic.
Yeah, it's very fun, and it rewards creative use of magic, stuff like that. I definitely recommend checking it out and picking it up because it's an indie game. It's can't be more than if I really had to stretch it, maybe $20, but I really don't think it will cost you that much. It's a very fun roguelike. It's very cool. It makes you feel very cool when you start getting more combos going through it. I need to spend more time with it because I haven't beaten a run yet, but I definitely have a lot more motivation to beat an entire run than most other roguelikes I've played.
Okay. It's $16 on Steam right now.
Yeah, that I would pay that much for that. I'd probably wait for it to go on sale just because summer sales are coming up, but it's definitely worth that.
You had me at Human Bullet.
Human Bullet is very fun.
I like the good sequence of words.
Nice. All right, Shred. What you got for us?
Shit. So throughout the quarantine, I've been playing a fun, quirky little relaxing game called Doom Eternal.
Mm-hmm. Make the joke, Shred. Make the joke.
Yeah, I'll be the 200th person to make the same joke.
Do it. Repetition is funny.
The more you say a joke, the more funny it'll get, dude.
Exactly.
But yeah, I've been playing almost exclusively Doom Eternal in the past month and a half, and really I play it and I just catch myself just saying what a hell of a game, what a hell of a video game, because it's really just
what a hell of a video game.
No, but it really is the first-person shooter, I think, because leading up to Doom 4, it was like a very just weird experience where like
Doom 4 was that the
2016.
Yeah, Doom 2016.
Right. So yeah, like once they started to reveal stuff, it was like looking more of a like Call of Duty game than an actual like Doom game. And then like everyone was like really not having it. They were not liking this direction. And so they polished up the game, and Doom 2016 was like an absolute like smash hit, like maybe even like a sleeper hit. Like it was like it took everyone by storm.
I remember I got it almost pretty soon after it came out. Although I've said this on the podcast before, unfortunately I got it right at the same time I got Overwatch, and that was when Overwatch was the game. So I only like beat it like less than a year ago.
No, like Doom and like Overwatch are like, in my opinion, are the games that like kill the modern shooter. Like now all these games, just like Call of Duty, Battlefield, just want to like do something different and not just the regular modern shooter we've been getting.
I say good riddance.
No, yeah, exactly. No, I think they've really done wonders for the genre. No, but like it was an awesome video game. It was like just perfect almost, but then Doom Eternal just like comes in and just like sweeps it out of the water. Like it is just like it takes everything that was great about Doom 2016 and just like amplified it to like the utmost degree.
Rad.
It's like it's a game that like requires so much from you and is so just like in your face. But because like if you forget that the flame belt gives you armor, if you forget the chainsaw recharges itself, then like you're going to be in a really bad time right now. But because like really in Doom 2016 you have like normally you would focus on like, oh, this gun is pretty good, it's getting me by pretty far, I'm just going to stick with this gun. But in Eternal, like ammo is a lot more scarce from the beginning, and enemies are like just a whole lot tougher now. And so like you find yourself just like you have to use the mechanics that the game gives you. Like there, by the end of the game, I never had like a favorite gun or anything.
Not even the super shotgun?
Yeah, I was thinking like by the end of Doom, by the end of like Doom 2016, the super shotgun was kind of my best friend.
By the first time I got the super shotgun, it was the only gun I used.
And really, I mean, so the super shotgun in what Eternal got kind of a buff where it's called the meat hook, which kind of acts as like a grappling hook, basically.
Oh.
Where you can like reel yourself into demons that you let yourself onto.
Yeah,
and just like blast their face.
So it's like a hook shot?
Yes.
Sort of.
Raw.
The mobility, like if you look at Doom Eternal gameplay, there's so much fucking mobility because there's so much shit that isn't in Doom 2016. Like they give you 2 consecutive dashes and the meat hook.
Yo. Yeah, because I mean I felt like that was sort of the thing that really kind of like made the first Doom stand out so much. Is just like how fast you were going, and you kind of had to constantly be like running around and shooting, and your character was so damn quickly that it felt like you were just really cruising around the area.
Like the final boss of Eternal, like I was like in cramps after playing it. Like
Jesus,
it's such an adrenaline rush because you have like one big objective and like a bunch of like other tiny distractions trying to like kill you, and it's just like, oh, what a final boss! Like it is like among the best I've ever played.
So you liked the game?
It's okay.
I'm not quite sure if I'm given by your recommendation.
Of course, I gotta talk about the whole situation with like Mick Gordon, who's just like he did the music score for both Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, and like his music makes the games. I probably would not enjoy Doom as much as I do without his music, but
music's great.
In Bethesda fashion, they messed up.
Oh boy.
Where they took a lot of Mick Gordon's tracks and Bethesda mixed his music themselves, which is kind of a problem for artists.
Bueno.
Yeah. And so Mick Gordon has like, I'm pretty sure at this point has like severed ties with Bethesda. Like he won't be doing business with them anymore.
That's a shame.
And like luckily he still got to like mix like 12 of his tracks, I think. But no, it's very unfortunate what happened to him, and also unfortunately it's not like a new thing in the game business.
It sucks that they lost the man so dedicated that he wrote a song specifically so that the spectrograph, I think it's called.
Yeah, no, the pentagram.
Yeah, will show a fucking pentagram in it. And also wrote an entire fucking language made up of demons, like the various parts of demons' names in Doom. Those are what consist of the letters.
Raw.
Yeah, no, Bethesda really did him dirty, and of course, I mean, it's tough for me to want to support that game because of what happened, but like, there's just so much work that just went into this game.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be a Bethesda game without some meaningless, stupid controversy.
I'm pretty sure we went like at least a whole month without any 76 news.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that. I'm like, when was the last time we fucking talked about Fallout? Something must have happened. We're definitely overdue.
Something did happen.
Oh!
Apparently, there's like NPC glitch. There's, mind you, we heard this. I heard this from our friend Skaith. He said that apparently there is now some sort of glitch with NPCs where, like, they will just permanently take your shit and you can't get it back. Like it's gone.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, I love this something game. Broke in the video game?
No. Oh, I love Fallout 76 so much.
I really think Fallout 76 watch might have to be like a second.
It was. It happened so many times on this show that we've deemed it a segment. Sound the alarm. I'm going to put a fucking sound effect in. Sound the alarm. This is the fucking Fallout 76 watch alarm. Something has gone wrong.
There needs to come a point where Bethesda just has like a reset button.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
This is what fucking happens when you build your engine on a fucking... Oh, yeah. Here it is. Just looked it up. 7 days ago. Bethesda is investigating a bug reported by players where new NPCs are looting items from their corpses and keeping them.
So based.
That is so based.
Oh, God. All right. Well, that's the official... That's the official Fallout 76 report.
Yeah, they'll just make that the regular tradition here.
No, it is.
I would strongly recommend Doom. Definitely play Doom 2016 before Eternal. There's no arguing that. Because Eternal just like asks like 3 times as much as from you as much as 2016 does.
I mean, how would you understand the thick, rich plot narrative that comes from the Doom games? I mean, obviously, with all the complex characters, deep motivations, and and hyper realistic and innovative plot revelations. If you hadn't experienced the previous one,
I like reading negative reviews for Doom Eternal, though.
Is that what they're like?
No, well, so. Gamers are like not all obviously, but there's a big subset of gamers that just like quit the game because of just like really just like lame reasons, like
God.
lack of ammo, too much platforming.
So
because
awesome.
I mean, it's not like the game introduces a mechanic where you like chainsaw enemies for ammo.
Yeah.
Within the first like 2 minutes of the game.
I mean, as someone who is notably not a big shooter player, there's very, very few shooters I actually fucks with. Doom's 2016 is definitely on that list, and if I can play it, so can anyone.
I read something where Doom is like a first-person character action game.
A little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's all I got for Doom Eternal.
Right on.
Play it. You'll be bored during quarantine, so do that.
Sweet. Okay. So it's down to me.
You got this, Carroll.
So I had a bit of trouble kind of coming up with what to talk about for this month. But then I was thinking about it. And our good friend, friend of the show, who's been on this podcast before, Victini, and we've recently been playing a shitload of Pokemon Showdown together. So Pokemon Showdown is kind of what I'm going to be talking about. If you're not familiar, well, I should sort of give it, some origin story about my history with it. Is that I'm pretty well known in my friends group, and my friend group is kind of being the Pokemon guy. I'm sure like many friend groups have one, and I am the one. I'm kind of the one for a lot of my friends, just because I played my first video game ever was Pokemon Leaf Green, and it's sort of been a big part of my life ever since then. In fact. As we speak, I'm itching to get out of here because Pokemon on the day that we recorded this, Pokemon Shield just came in the mail for me because I didn't have a Switch until now. So
you respect the podcast too much to just postpone it to play it.
Oh, fucking! This is GBG, dude. This is the height of quality and standards. What are you talking about? What do you mean we had an episode where we forgot to put the fucking list together?
Yeah, how do you just forget the list?
How do you forget the list?
That episode is fucking perfect, just the way it is. It was born defective, but God, it fucking soldiered on.
It was Fallout 76.
Oh, might need to recommend the podcast on the podcast.
Yeah, you guys should listen to Geeks by Gaslight.
Fucking please, somebody has to. So moving on for that, I'm sort of known as big Pokemon guy. And I dabbled with competitive VGC Pokemon for a number of years, as many child ought to have done in certain points of their life. I was never the best at it, just because most of my teams were, either really gimmicky or just like sort of like revolve around having fun. But I tell you, if you're interested in playing Pokemon competitively at all, Pokemon Showdown is your best friend, because it allows you. Basically, it's an unofficial, not affiliated with Nintendo or the Pokemon Company or Game Freak in any way. It's made by SmogginUniversity.com, which is like a competitive, like a Pokemon like competitive website that shows sort of popular strategies and stuff with certain Pokemon. Some of their strategies can be a bit whack, but a lot of times they're super on the ball, and they kind of have their finger on the pulse of what's sort of going on in the Pokemon community in terms of strats and things. And they have and Pokemon Showdown is the big simulator, so you can make pretty much any team you want with any Pokemon, so you don't have to worry about, and you can just set everything up. You can set up IVs, you can set up EVs, moves, abilities, items, anything you want. And there's a variety of different game modes. There's, random battles where, you and your opponent both have a completely random team, which is pretty popular. Singles, doubles, almost anything you can imagine. Different formats from different singles formats from the different games over the years, like Gen, even going back to like Gen 1 and Gen 2. If you feeling nostalgic, you can go back to those competitive formats and give it a shot. But no, it's really any Pokemon fan's best friend, in terms of just getting to play, because like the thing with the Pokemon games is that you have your team and you have like it's all about the journey. But
about the challenges.
It's all about the challenges. It's a brand new game. It's a brand new world, new rivals as you fight for survival.
Nothing can stop us. Time in the Pearl.
I'm sorry. I can't. If you say the first words to any of the Pokemon theme, I have to break out. It's a fucking curse of mine. It's one of my weirdest talents. But besides that, so yeah, it's just not only can it be really fun because you can make any team you want, and people tend to get pretty creative, and so you can, the possibilities are endless in terms of sort of what you can, in terms of what you can create, and what you can make on there. Seriously, if you're not familiar with Pokemon Showdown, check it out. It's super, super active. There's a giant, the community is thriving. And there's all different kinds of like channels and chat rooms that you can talk to other people about Pokemon Showdown, and not always even just about Pokemon. Like there's anime channels, some stuff for even some sports fans. There's a fucking pro wrestling channel, which I always find hilarious. Those guys have a podcast and it's fucking funny. But yeah, check out Pokemon Showdown if you haven't. If you've ever even played a Pokemon game, and you want to just, have just like essentially the Minecraft creative mode version of Pokemon, then that's Pokemon Showdown. So play it if you haven't gotten the chance to. That's pretty much all I have to say on it. And right after this, I'm going to play this shit out of Pokemon Shield. And Shred, you had something you wanted to plug?
Yes. If you want more video game and movie goofery, I am a co-writer on a blog called Story Arc, where it's like me and like 7 or 6 other 7 other writers. I can't keep track of everyone, but it has our good friend Dre Best involved. He
plugged it the last time he was here.
Oh well, hey, we might as well keep plugging it every time.
Hell yeah, check out Story Arc. They're better than us.
The time of this writing, he just released something. Feel free to check it out. It'll be linked in the description, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, feel free to check us out, and thank you for any support.
Right on. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the Geeks by Gaslight Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Special thanks to our producers, Dre Best, Ronny Diaz, and Scott Heemstra for making the show possible. And a big thank you to Shred for coming on this show. We always love to have you. It's super nice. Thanks to Jack Wormer for helping us design the thumbnail. And if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment, follow us on Twitter, and join our Discord. The links to all that will be down in the description below. And be sure to keep it locked right here for brand new episodes of the Geeks by Gaslight Podcast every single goddamn month. But until then, stay inside, nerds.